All right, good evening and welcome to Talking Hoops. It's your girls, Coach Johnson, joined by the lovely Coach Mac, and of course, the Ron Briscoe. And, I usually start off with a little bit of controversy, and we did have
Oh,
some backstage talk. So we'll go ahead and just jump right into it because, we like to talk about what the people want to hear, right? So, with that being said, Bronny James being drafted to the Lakers, number 55 pick, they've signed him to a 4 year, pretty much $8 million deal. I know that there is a lot of mixed feelings about this, but I wanted to get you guys' perspective on one, what do you guys think about that pickup for the Lakers? Obviously, we understand a little bit of nepotism here, but hey, it happens everywhere, right? And if you have the
yes.
opportunity to do that for your child, hey, but what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Coach Mac. Start it off.
Well, there's so much to say about this situation as a whole. I mean, is it a bad thing that Bernie is in the league and his dad is playing a factor? No, it's really not because it happens all the time. So I am happy to be able to see that part occur. But the question is he really ready? Although he's going to spend the bulk of his time in the G League, which I think is a great idea, especially since they want to focus on his development. I think that's a wonderful start and what he'll really need the most. And then to have that mentorship with his dad and whomever else surrounding him, I mean, I think it's a great plan. And Bronny just seems like the type of player who would just continuously work hard, who's focused and dedicated to his craft, to his game, and everything else. I think he's going to be okay. It's just so many people are just allowing or just bringing the pressure on and trying to make the situation bigger than what it is when it's actually a great plan for Bronny.
Uh, Coach Mac, you said a mouthful, which is uh, everything I agree on. But let me say this about what happened. It's a very powerful statement that was made when they picked Ronnie James 55th in the second round, and also a very powerful statement that was made when they gave him that guarantee contract. That just lets you know that LeBron has some power. Rich Paul
Mhm.
did a very good job in negotiating. LeBron set the table by saying, like, hey, I'm gonna opt out. I don't know if I must be staying with the Lakers. So did it put some pressure on the Lakers? Maybe so. But it was the strategy worked. LeBron, like you said, Coach Johnson, he didn't, he got 104 million for 2 years, but he could have made more. But like you said earlier, maybe he didn't get all of his money because he wanted to spread it around and wanted his son to get some of it. So his son is set. Like you said, it happens all the time. NBA coaches, father and son team, you always hear about that. You know, you just hear about a lot of things. It's happening in college, it's happening in high school. It's just, you're going to take care of yours.
Mhm.
So we're just going to wait and see how this all plays out. I know Bronny's going to be playing in a couple of days up in San Francisco and Sacramento. And then from there, they're going to be coming down to Vegas on the 12th of July. And hopefully they'll be there till the 22nd uh, for the 2K24 uh, NBA Summer League games. But we'll see. I'm rooting for them. And I'm just saying, like, hey, it all came out the way LeBron and Rich Paul and everybody had it planned for Bronny James.
Okay, can you guys hear me again now? Oh, there we go. I was saying that I completely agree. I do think that, like you said, Ron, the table is set, and now it's up to Bronny to go take that opportunity and take advantage of it. I agree with you as well, Coach Mack, that this is a great opportunity, especially with the rising of competitiveness and competition that we've seen in the G League this past season. I mean, how many of those guys got the opportunity to get called up and get the opportunity to get a contract, even if it was just a 10-day in NBA during the regular season and even throughout playoffs. So we did see that very often. Now, this is the one thing that is really doesn't seem to be lining up for my guy, LeBron James, right now is that third person. What is going on? LeBron James tweeted, maybe it's me. And I have to wonder what is going on. LeBron, for those of you that don't know, offered to take a pay cut to get a third player to come to the Lakers that can be a high caliber player. There were some guys that were in free agency that could have came to the Lakers and had an impact to join him and AD. But as we saw, everybody chose to go somewhere else. What do you guys think it is? What could be that possible reason?
Well, maybe it's like you said. Maybe some people don't want to play with him. I've been hearing some rumblings also about Anthony Davis being upset out there in LA. But
Mm,
uh, they made some room. They are still trying to get rid of D'Angelo Russell. I know they re-signed him, but they really kind of baited that to put him on the trade block
mhm.
so they could get a trade going on. It's you would think that Clay Thompson wanted to go there. You would think that Paul George would want to go there, and some others. I'm hearing Brooke Lopez may be going there really, really soon from the Milwaukee Bucks. That's been in the works there for uh, quite some times,
Mm,
but I've been hearing that. Uh, I don't know. I mean, they really need somebody else to come in and help LeBron as far as scoring. I think Buddy Hield is another guy that the Lakers are talking about bringing in to
Mm-hmm.
play for them. So things haven't been things haven't been all the way to where they have the deal sealed, but
mhm,
I think Buddy may be getting his deal done either today or tonight
Mm-hmm.
with the Lakers. He can score, but other than that, it could be LeBron because he's like people are saying like, man, you showing a lot of power over there. You got your kid, with a contract guarantee. I know that if I get over there and I don't do well, I'm out the door. So a lot of top players are hesitant to go over there because of the control LeBron James has with the organization.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's those that are more so the alpha males. They're not going to survive with LeBron, and I think that's usually the type of players that you're seeing is deciding to go elsewhere
mhm.
because that's going to be kind of hard to mesh when you have your star players who are headstrong trying to mend with each other, and that's just not going to work. Think about Paul George, think about Klay Thompson, and the type of players that they are, and so forth. And so I just don't see that really coinciding with LeBron in a sense versus someone like Brooke Lopez. He's not a role player, but at the same time, he's okay with being a role player, if you know what I mean. So,
Yes, I do agree. We need like a good quality
y-
comparison to Drew Holiday.
Oh,
yes,
there she go for her Drew.
We need a
yes,
good quality comparison, a player like that
yep,
that could come over similar to how he went over to the Celtics. They had, Jalen Brown and they have
mm-hmm,
Jason Tatum as, those are their two guys, but he really came in and made an immediate impact. And I wouldn't call him a role player, but in a sense, with the two guys you're playing with, you don't
mm-hmm,
have there's no pressure for you to be a main player either. You just get to come in and go hoop.
yep, exactly, and that's what
Exactly.
they need.
It's something to take the pressure off. Well, we'll see. Ron, you mentioned that there's been a little scuttlebug about AD being unhappy. There any is there any other information you have to add to that? Because I haven't heard that yet, but I love insider scoop.
Well, I'm just hearing he's unhappy. It, I they really didn't go into detail if he's unhappy with the way they're not getting players to come to the Lakers,
Mm.
Mm.
the way that they missed out on Thompson, because not only is AD upset, Thompson's dad was upset. He thought he would come and
Mm-hmm.
be a Laker because he's a former Laker, and he was like, "Man, I was really disappointed. I thought he would be a Laker, but he's a grown man. He makes his own decision, and I'm happy for wherever he goes. It's just that he just makes the Mavericks a lot better. Really could have made the Lakers a lot better. But as far as for AD, that's all I'm hearing is that he's just unhappy. I don't know. I mean, I know they're not going to move him or anything, but I'm just hearing some stuff like, hey, he's unhappy. But I'll probably be able to hear more as the summer league goes on.
Oh yeah, well, we're definitely looking forward to that. Well, as we've mentioned and as it's been mentioned a few times before, Klay Thompson, the end of an era. The
Hmm.
end of the Golden State Warriors era. What a run. What a run. 13 years Klay Thompson gave to the Golden State Warriors. He is now with the Dallas Mavericks. And as we know, he just officially became their third player that we would consider in a big three. Klay Thompson adding to that. I know he had a rough season with Golden State this past year, but we still have to keep in mind this is still Klay Thompson. And despite those injuries, at any point in time, whenever he's able to get it back on and get it clicking, and more so probably from a mental perspective than his actual mechanics and ability to shoot and score, he's going to be a problem with the Mavericks. He's going to be a problem. It just made them that much better. But does it make them another championship contender?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think that because we were totally missing that piece. Heavy. Bad, we was missing that piece bad. We got rid of Tim Hardaway. I love Tim, but yeah, we needed that piece. That was the
Hmm.
piece that we were missing. Obviously, Kyrie's coming in. He made a huge change, and I think Clay is going to have that change as well. Look how happy Kyrie is now since he's been there and the effect that he's had on the team, especially being the leader that that team needs. And look how much he's affected Luca as well.
Mm.
So I think having Clay in that environment is going to make him a totally different player. I think we're going to see a different Clay Thompson this coming season.
Once again, I agree with you, and you're right. Uh, there's a lot of buzz going on in Big D with Clay when he agreed to that. Nico Harrison and Clay go way back, and the relationship meant a lot. That's why he went to Dallas because he knew Nico really well, and getting rid of Tim Hardaway, which he was one of my guys when I worked with Nike. I had him under my wing, and Jones is gone too.
Mm,
So they cleared all that space. I saw it coming when Tim Hardaway went to the Pistons. They cleared his space because
hmm
he was supposed to be signing again. And then Jones, when Jones left, like a couple of days later, I was like, oh, something's getting ready to happen. They cleared that space. They were able to get Clay in there and get his deal done. So it was all taking shape. If you just stop and look at what's going on with all the players and the room that they had to make, because they had to do that to be able to get Clay in there to
hmm
make some room. But I'm looking forward to seeing Coach Mack, your Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
Look, next time, don't give up on them, Coach, and pick those old Minnesota Timberwolves.
Whew, hey, that was a rough one there. Oh, and speaking of the Timberwolves, I'm kind of excited about that trade they got too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, that's gonna be a nice piece added to them.
Yes.
Now, it's a lot of movement going on. It's a lot of movement going on. But one thing I found interesting about Klay Thompson's trade is that Golden State offered him 49 million for 2 years. The Mavs offered him 50 million for 3 years. He decided to go with the Mavs, and one of the reasons that he publicly said is that tax purposes. And me being a California girl, I can tell you that the tax for professional athletes insane, outrageous, okay?
Yes.
Very high, very, very high. So this would probably be a good time for him to, keep a little bit more of his money for the first time. But it just makes me wonder, was he ready to close that chapter with the Warriors by not taking the 2-year deal almost at the same exact price for a 3-year deal?
Let me add this to that. Uh, he was upset at the Warriors. They had slapped him in the face because
Hmm.
he said, "You're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to give Draymond $100 million contract. You're going to give Andrew Wiggins $100 million contract, and then they waive Wiggins right after Thompson leaves." And he's saying, "You're not going to offer me $100 million contract?" He said, "Like, you know, what have I done for you lately? Like win some championships, and I've been here, so I got hurt, and this is the way you're gonna treat me." I'm like, you know how they do when people get wounded. They kind of
Hmm.
set them to the side, and he said, "Now
Hmm.
I'm back, and y'all don't want to deal with me." So all this work that I did and put in the
Mm.
time that I put in, this is what y'all think of me, and that's one of the main reasons that I heard that he said, "I'm out of here.
Hmm.
I'm not going to take this contract. If it's not 100 million, I'm not even going to even worry about staying here. My bags are packed." And look, it comes when Dallas say, "We're going to give you 50 million." He takes that, and runs out the door. So he just saying, "Look, take that, Golden State."
Yes, yes, he
Hmm.
did. It was a slap in the face.
Mhm.
Can't wait to
Now,
watch that game, that matchup.
Coach Mac, do you already have your gear ready?
Honey,
Oh,
listen, trying to be all up in there.
Ron, I might have to set some dress code rules for the show before season starts.
no, no, let her do her thing. Go ahead, coach, do your thing. Represent
Definitely
your
gonna see some Mavs gear.
cause look,
Oh, I know. I already know. She gonna come with
because
the headband, Ron.
If your Lakers would have won it, I could see what your dress code could be.
Oh,
Background and all.
oh,
Oh, what?
oh, y'all know I got
Banner,
a clown.
everything, coming up with the Laker music and
Oh,
everything.
I got a clown, Ron. I got a clown. But speaking of more California people, I wanted to talk about this because you guys know in the group chat I was highly disappointed about this trade. Paul George to the Philadelphia Sixers. Coach Mac, you sent it in the group, and all I could respond back with was garbage. They spent over $200 million. What was it, like 212?
212.
Oh, there goes some gear for Coach Mac.
Yes, I'll take
I
it
know,
all.
I knew it, I knew it,
Add
I
that
knew
to
it,
my cart, please.
Yeah.
I knew it, I knew it. Y'all off
Oh,
the
that's a
chain
nice
today.
hat.
And sorry, Angel, I know you're behind the glass, but I do have to talk about your team right now. Um,
I don't
Paul
think Angel
George.
minds myself.
Angel, I know you as a true basketball fan, I know you have to be disappointed, equally as disappointed with this. They spend 212 million on Paul George. Please, on Pandemic P. Please, somebody help me understand the combination. Now, I see the vision, Maxi, George, and
Hmm.
Embiid, but Embiid can't stay healthy. And
Right.
that has almost been proven now. We've seen how many
Mhm.
seasons now? Embiid struggles with staying healthy. Paul George, please tell me the biggest highlight of him and Kawhi Leonard playing together for the Clippers in the past few years, please.
This is a terrible trade.
Crickets.
And
That's all you can hear is
when I
crickets.
when I heard that he was going to the Sixers, I mean, you was hearing rumblings about him leaving. The Sixers was
Hmm.
involved and stuff like that, and the Lakers, and some other people. I'm saying, like, what just happened to the Sixers? Maxie just got hit. Maxie is the guy, really. Maxie just
He
got
is the
him
Yeah.
guy.
a really good contract. Sixers, what are you thinking about giving this guy 200 and something? I was like, look, he don't need no $212 million. Okay, y'all shouldn't have done that.
No.
If the Clippers are gonna just say, like, we don't want to negotiate, and I know Lawrence Frank real well, and Lawrence is just a little bitty short guy, and if he was like, we don't need you, Paul George, get on out of here. Now I really feel sorry for Paul George's mom because she's in a wheelchair, and she could have.
Oh.
They from LA, and she could have just been there for the game, but now she's got to
Ooh.
go all the way over to
Other
Philadelphia,
side of the country.
yeah, and go watch her son play. But no, 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 they could have done better than that. I mean, shoot, he could have went to the Pistons for that.
What?
It made them better.
I am I'm baffled because the Sixers they're right there. They're right there on the verge of having a team, having a really solid team. Maxi is playing great. He is the next face of the Sixers. He's the guy that you have to keep. Embiid, well, you kind of know what you're going to get for the season. You know he's probably going to go down for a bit. He's going to miss some games, so forth, but he still brings a lot to the table for them, for that team. Now, if you guys had $212 million to spend, why is Paul George the option, right? You guys have 212 million. You could have maybe acquired two good
Yeah,
quality players that you could split that. And now you're kind of taking some of that load off of the reliance on Embiid for the Sixers to still be an effective and good team on the East. So that was, we'll say it now. We talked about this. Remember in the start of the season when Damian Lillard got traded, and we said, is it a bump or a bust on the trade? We all predicted it was a bust for Milwaukee, and it ended up being a bust. I'm going with bust as of right now. I just don't. I just it feels like Paul George just made a lateral movement. You went from the
Basically.
Clippers to the Sixers, but it was not a forward progressive move at all. Very lateral.
I second that.
Yeah, definitely a bust for me.
Yeah. Well, we shall see how the season plays out. But speaking of spending money, boy, I wonder, is it raining money in Boston? Somebody
Yes.
tell me, does Boston have a few money trees somewhere that they're hiding out in the back?
Ooh.
Because the two largest contracts in NBA history have just been dished out to, you guessed it, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both making over 300 million. Jason Tatum is at about 315 and Jaylen Brown's at about 305. Two of the biggest contracts in history. They keep the same roster. What are you guys' thoughts on them not adding anything so far to the team?
Well, they have everything in place,
Hmm.
and you got to sit down and look at this. The majority owner just said, I'm out of here. I'm selling my portion of the team. I
Hmm.
got to recruit my money back. I done gave it all to JB and JT. So I got to get some money back. But they have everything in place. Uh, you know, I don't even remember who they picked for in the draft. I can't remember who they picked in the draft. But anyway, they said, they picked the winner again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy for both of those guys, especially Tatum. I mean, that championship really pushed him over the hump as far as getting that $300 million,
Hmm.
and I just think that they just have a group of guys that get along together and play together, and hopefully the KP will be able to get healthy after his surgery and be able to come in and contribute for the whole season.
Yep, I agree. I guess they're saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why touch it? I mean, you got an amazing coach, very intelligent coach, smart coach. Your players, the whole team chemistry, their dynamic, everything like they feed off each other well. I mean, it's no different than having, let's say, like a 4 year college program that's been
Mhm.
with each other, that knows the system, that understands each other. And I mean, hey, it is what it is. And I think they have a great, great team. So why even mess up that whole dynamic as far as what they have? And speaking of the Celtics, what's been extremely interesting is like their G League. The G League also
Oh
won
yeah.
the finals too. So you got I think it's called Maine. Yeah, Maine Celtics Maine. Yeah, Maine Celtics, one of them. But that's the
Mhm.
name of the team. And then you have the Celtics. They both won the league. So I think even with their G League team, like it's strong. So they have a really, really, really solid program on both levels.
Oh yeah, and it's nice as to work as a feeder, really,
Mm-hmm.
and really work between the two because obviously you have some champions on both sides
Yep.
that are playing hard because the G League, like we said earlier, was very competitive this season. Some great players, some big names that were drafted, played, and spent a lot of time in the G League this past
Mm-hmm.
season. So definitely speaks volumes about the type of talent that they have with the Celtics right now in both levels. But really quick, two more NBA touch points, and then I want Coach Mack to go ahead and give us some updates on her G League babies because some movement has happened with the G League babies and some people getting drafted. But two more touch points for NBA. Kimball Walker retiring,
Hmm.
Mm.
officially announced his retirement. Um, wow, I'm actually I was a little shocked. I
Yeah.
know he's bounced around quite a bit, but I never understood why he was a bounce around player when he has had some huge historical moments. I mean, 60-point games, plenty of 50-point games that he's had.
Yes.
I mean, Walker is a walking bucket.
Hmm.
What
Yes.
what do you think? Is it maybe? Do you think it's injuries, or does he just maybe gotten to that point of the bounce around just can't be done anymore?
I think that he's just like, hey, it's time to just go ahead and just call it like, hey, a retirement. He wants to probably go into broadcasting. Kimball's a very talented guy. I know him very
Mm-hmm.
well. New York City guy, and played for
UConn.
UConn and won a national championship. There she goes with her UConn.
UConn. UConn,
UConn
baby.
and Dallas Raleigh.
UConn, baby.
and the Connecticut Suns, huh?
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, he's a guy that said, look, I'm he's about 38, 39. He's up there. I mean,
Is
he's
he?
like,
No,
yeah.
he's is
How old
he?
is he? Yeah, he's
Isn't he closer to 34, 35?
Yeah, he's closer to that because I think he's younger than I am. Yeah,
oh
because he was
okay.
still in college when I finished. So yeah, he's younger than that,
Okay.
just a
But
little year.
yeah. But anyway, I think he wants to get into broadcasting uh, and do some things. We all have those times in our life to where we want to change and do other things and run up and down the basketball court. He's made his money and just probably wants to do something else. And he's a really nice guy. He really is good person.
Oh yeah. Well, look, Ron, I'm still looking for my NIL deal. Let me tell you, if I could get in shape for 4 more years, I don't know. I might have to
Coach,
go back for
coach,
another sport or
coach,
something, Ron.
coach.
Give me a month, I'm good.
Hey,
Coach.
I'll
Don't
take
even
him
think
back.
about it. Don't even think about it.
Ron, I got to go
They be
shake down the
running. They
money
be running
tree.
by you. They be running by you, and you be like, "Hey, what was that? What was that?" I mean, with the girls that they have coming up today, and Juju. Oh my goodness!
I'm
Don't.
gonna stay in the front court. That way,
Yeah,
I ain't gotta do that much running.
That's it.
I
Coach
call you
Mack, you
coach.
got the right strategy, Coach Mack.
That way I
How
ain't got to
tall
do
are you,
much
Coach
running. I'm gonna be
Mac?
in the
How
front
tall
court.
are you?
And you know what? I'm gonna tell this joke publicly because people think I'm lying, and you can actually research this. So I'm actually 5'7" ish, 5'8". But
Okay.
in college, the roster they have me listed at 5'11". I kid you not.
Well, they always do that. They
Look it
always
up. You want to know a fun fact about me? I was listed at 5'11" on our roster in college. Yes,
they
I
always
Wow.
dare.
do that. They
Now
always
that
cheat.
is an extreme stretch they
That was
did.
extreme. But everybody thinks I'm taller than what I am, but I'm not.
Well, Rob Dillingham was listed at Kentucky at 6'3", and then when he got to the NBA Combine, he was 6'1". But that happens all the time. Everybody
All the
always
time.
always stretches it. And how tall are you, Coach Johnson?
I'm 5'8".
Oh, so y'all about the same size.
Yep.
But
Y'all
I'm
some
six.
killer.
But
Y'all
I'm
some.
6'5" in spirit, Ron.
Tell them.
Oh, here we
Tell
go.
them on that floor.
Come on now, 6'5" in spirit. It's all. It's in here, Ron.
Yes.
That's what.
Inside the
Here and there.
heart. Okay. I
You
look.
got it or you don't.
I
You
look.
know, me and
I know
Coach
how
Mac,
you.
we got that stuff you can't teach. You
I
know.
know how
That's
you
it.
feel. I know how you feel. I'm in the same boat. I got the same competitive edge and the spirit and the drive and everything. So yes, I understand.
That's why me and Coach Mac, we need to run it back. We need our NIL deals because we
But,
sure
but, but,
missed out. Okay,
but
Yep.
look, but look,
we
y'all might as well let that go. Just let it go
now
on by. Just let it go
listen,
on
Ron. Speaking of let it go, me and Coach Mac wouldn't be the only ones because it appears that Chris Paul has decided to let go as well. A
Yes.
1 year deal with the Spurs.
Mm.
Yes.
Has he called it quits? I guess his race for a championship. It sounds like he's decided to let it go as well too.
Yes. He has.
My
He
thing
has.
is, how is it that Chris Paul is still there, but Kemba Walker is not?
The great question.
And I'm pretty sure now, I know there are two different types of players, but when it comes to speed, I think Kemba got it.
Yeah. Kimmel has him.
Yes.
Definitely think Kemba got it. So I'm just trying to figure out how that worked right there. Chris Paul
Well,
said it, Kemba not. But hey,
it's the type of thing to where you have a relationship with a legendary coach
yep.
in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to come in and be a guy that's going to guide the new guys to play
Hmm.
from the point guard position to learn to teach them how to be a coach on the floor. And you never know, he may become an assistant coach. Uh,
I can
but
see that.
I think either way, he could go behind the mic. He may be the next guy for ESPN, taking JJ Redick's place. You never know. But
Anything is possible.
yeah, but anyway, that's why the Spurs have him there. He got waived, and they said, "No, we ain't gonna let him go out like that."
Now let me say this. For those of you that don't know, Chris Paul signed a 1 year deal for 11 million with the Spurs. And basically they're paying Chris Paul $11 million to be a mentor.
Right.
So if I was Chris Paul, I'd sign for my 11 million as well to mentor because that's what you're being brought on for, like you said. And then maybe it could be a nice transition into coaching or broadcasting or, but it's really they signed a 1 year deal just to keep him alive. And like you said, Ron, not let his last season be waived,
Yeah.
because you were waived. And so here, come coach up the young guys. And for those of you that don't know, Chris Paul was the president of the NBA Players Association
So
for a while, so his leadership ability and skills is there, and it would be great for a young team like the Spurs, who, as long as Wembanyama is on their roster, they have great potential. So yeah, he's getting paid 11 million to be a mentor, but I guess that the running for that championship, unfortunately, it does look like Chris Paul will be like Allen Iverson, and I hate to say it, but that is just one of those great point guards, had a huge impact on the league, never got a ring.
Mm.
right, right. And I'm glad that the Spurs picked him up, and
Hmm.
that he didn't go out like they were saying he got waived. And Golden State, you know, waived him when they could have just let him take his tour and just retire and say, "Look, make your round, do what you got to do, but he's going to be doing it for San Antonio, and I have
Mm-hmm.
to tip my hat to them for helping him out there, and appreciating what he has done because he just
Hmm.
had his Chris Paul point guard basketball camp along
Mm.
with Jason Tatum's basketball camp in Vegas in the last 3 days. So they finished today out in Vegas, and the Olympic team is coming in. LeBron is there today, so they're getting ready to do the Olympic practice and everything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Speaking of Olympics, I wanted to jump into the WNBA. As we know, All Star is on the horizon, All Star weekend. And for this year's All Star, they've decided to do the Team USA, the Olympic team,
Hmm.
going against the top players right now in the WNBA. Now, I hope they play a real game and don't pull what the NBA did.
Me too. Me too.
Because what happened, what we witnessed of the All-Star games of the NBA, I mean, they might as well not even do it anymore.
That's
And
right.
they'd
Yeah.
be better off not doing it than to
Basically.
Yes, that is exactly how the game went. That's exactly how I remember it. So I would love to see them actually play a real game. If they do, what a basketball game this could actually be.
Ooh, I heard it's going to be sold out. And once again, Coach Mac really, the All Star team, the WNBA All Star team, is the Las Vegas Aces.
Yep.
You know
That's all I'm saying.
what you got?
I
Like
agree.
you got four or five of the women from the Aces on the All Star team.
Yep.
My goodness.
Kelsey, Jackie,
Oh
Asia,
yeah, for Team
Chelsea.
USA. Yep.
Yeah,
There
Hmm.
it is.
yeah. I'm
So,
I'm just amazing. Then you got Angel Reese and you got Clayton Clark.
hmm
And you got
It's
that Chelsea Plum girl too, huh?
Yes,
hmm
indeed.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
going
indeed.
it's going to be a great game. I like I said, I really hope they go out there and play serious and not play up to how the NBA played because people have paid good money and people
Mhm.
like me and you and all of us we want to see a good basketball game. This is the point of the All-Star is bringing your league's best players to come compete and go hard and play together and see what that looks like. So I hope that's what they come out and do. But I think it'll be a lot of chatter if the USA women's team comes up short.
I think it
Mhm.
will be. I think it will be.
So I would say maybe it's too much on the line for them to not play serious.
No, 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 no. They need to play serious because if the U.S. women lose, they're gonna say, "How come you don't have Caitlin Clark on that team?"
Yep.
Mhm.
That's the first thing they're gonna say.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna leave that on the table and let that
Mhm.
kind of marinate for a while.
No, you're absolutely right. Now, the league's runnings right now for speaking of Kaylin Clark, she is currently battling back and forth between first and second with Angel Reese. And what a season both of them are having.
Hmm.
They have transitioned from being in college straight into the league, no break. Let's be clear, the break is very minimal. They've had very minimal time off and they've continued playing and they've had a great start into their first year in the league. But right now, Angel Reese leading in first place for Rookie of the Year. Caitlin Clark, her and Caitlin Clark have switched in and out of that spot
Mhm.
since the season has started. But what are you guys' thoughts on how both of them are performing and how they've transitioned into the league?
Coach Mack, you can have this one.
Well, I must say, I will speak on Angel, and I think a lot of it has to do with the leadership of Teresa Weatherspoon, the role that she's playing, the mentorship that she has with Angel that has made a huge difference in the way Angel is performing. When she was at LSU, I definitely didn't see her surviving as well as she's doing now.
Hmm.
Now is her footwork that footwork is just bothers me. Like I just
It is unorthodox.
That she is definitely unorthodox. That's for sure. But it's going in somehow. Somehow it's going in. She's leading rebounder, which is that I predicted. She's an amazing rebounder. You got to give her that. But in
Hmm.
terms of scoring and footwork, I just want that to come together some kind of way. But again, it's going in. I can't knock her for it. She's doing a great job from that perspective. But once everything starts to coordinate and she doesn't look like the awkward teenager out there trying to figure things out on offense, she's gonna do good. But again, I think having Teresa Weatherspoon as her coach has made a huge difference in her game, in her attitude.
Hmm.
Caitlin Caitlin's doing good. I'm not, surprised. I predicted that she was going to do well coming in. I think initially starting out, it was kind of a little shocker for her because she wasn't. I don't know if she wasn't expecting for things to be so physical, but that was one of the things that she did mention as far as the
Hmm.
difference of the game. But I mean, she's still doing well. You can tell that she's learning day by day. She's growing day by day, which is great. Just imagine what she's going to be like next year now that she's, kind of seeing what everything is like. She has a really, really good IQ, a great vision. I love the way she passed. I've been loving the way she passed since she was at Iowa. So just to get the feel of the game, her teammates, how physical everything is, I think next year she's really, really gonna soar starting out. So I'm excited about both of them and seeing what they're gonna look like in year two.
All great points that you mentioned about both of them. Let me add this. Angel Reese, she's a lefty, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like
Ooh.
she reminds me of Moses Malone. How Moses used to just throw the ball off the backboard just to get another rebound, and then while he's doing it, he's getting his steps together and getting his stride together to lay it in or to tip it in. That's what Angel kind of reminds me of. She kind of throws it up there, it hits off the
Yes.
backboard, she gets the rebound, and then she's in stride to put it in. And it just looks normal because the way she does it. But she always has a knack for throwing the ball up there and going to get the rebound because she knows exactly where it's going to go, and it
Mhm.
comes right back to her. Then she scores, or she gets fouled. Other than that, she has, like you said about Coach Teaspoon, has really helped her out with her mind, with maturing, with her discipline. And that's one thing
Mhm.
they have tried to keep focused with her, is for her to be consistent in discipline, and to not just say things just off the top of her head.
Yes.
And you can see this change slowly coming in after a couple of press conferences where she said some things to where they had to, reel her in and get her back under control. But
Mhm.
I have been amazed. Uh, you know, we saw her in college do the double double, but to do it
Mhm.
in the WNBA 10 times has really been amazing, because I really didn't think that she was going to be a double double player in the WNBA. I thought she was just going
Mhm.
to every once in a while, have a really good game. But when she got those 19 rebounds the other night, when I watched it, I was like, "Woo, wee, girl! You,
Oh
you put
yeah.
on you put on your hard hat again." Caitlin Clark, coach, you said everything that I was going to say about her. With her spirit, with her smartness, with her genius. She's an elegant passer that some of her teammates are slowly catching on. Like,
Mhm.
uh, it's coming. I just need to catch it.
Mhm.
She hits them. She's like this. Like I used to tell people, she throws a dime and gets 9 cent change back. Okay, that's how good she is. She gets change off of her dime. So I'm gonna end with that.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. Now, Ron, you bring up a great point about not thinking that Angel was going to be a double double girl in the league. And you know what? Her footwork had me questioning her ability on offense to be able to score in the league. But like
Mhm.
you said, she has found a way to get it done. She put those construction boots on and her hard hat, and she has been going to work. She is set right now a WNBA record for the longest streaks of double double. She is 11 right now. And
Mhm.
Angel is currently averaging 13.3 points per game and 11.4 rebounds per game.
Oh,
She's
And
look.
beat Asia Wilson in rebounding. And Asia was number one. Now Angel is number one.
That's right.
she has made it a point to make something her signature, even though that was her signature in college, but she's making it a mark that, my coach used to tell me all the time, rebounding is pure effort. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
effort. And he was like, you don't need any skills to be able to go rebound.
That's right.
You just have to go want it more than the person that you're going up against. And she is showing that she's willing to put in that effort. And I really appreciate that. And Caitlin, same thing. Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's, what could you expect? People would say she's maybe not having the best season, but what does the best even look like when you're a rookie in the WNBA and you're averaging 16 points per game, 7 assists per game, and almost 6 rebounds a game?
It looks
I
good
mean,
to me.
that, hey, that is a stat line that is very worthy, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
we've seen pros who've been in the league who wish to have that stat line. So again, although this is her first season, and I would say when people are saying this is a rough season for her, they're mainly speaking more from the shooting percentage, right? Her shooting percentage is not what it was in college, but you're having to learn to take different types of shots against more physical players where you're not getting that foul call for those hand checks and those bumps and all of that those are permitted in the league. So it is definitely good to see how far they're coming along. But I do want to say Camila Cardosa, not far behind, and Rakia
Mm-hmm.
Jackson in third and fourth place for the
Mm.
running of Rookie of the Year. So it'll be interesting to see after All Star how these young ladies come back out there and finish off the season. But I don't know what are we thinking about team wise? Chelsea Gray is back for the Aces. With having Chelsea Gray back, are we looking at the Aces maybe stringing some wins along back to back now that she's back?
They have done
Yep.
that. They have done
Yep.
that. They have been on a roll here as of late. You know,
Yes.
they stumbled early, but now they have won, if I'm not
Five
mistaken,
in a row.
5 in a row.
Five in a
Yep.
row.
So, they, I think they're getting ready to go on cruise control.
Yeah.
I really do.
We back,
Hey,
baby. We
Yeah.
back.
AW, go ahead, coach.
No, I'm just saying we back, baby. We back.
Yeah. Oh, AW, woo, man, she put on the show
Yes.
yesterday. I've
Yes.
been watching
Last
so
night.
much WNBA. I forgot. I forgot the game, but she put on a show. They was in Vegas. She put on a show the other day. I was like, look at this woman work her magic. She was what 25 and something 9. She was smoking. They couldn't
Yeah.
stop her.
Hmm.
She,
Actually, I think it was three of them that were in the that's average scored 20 plus. So Asia, Kelsey, and I think Jackie, or it may have been four of them last night against the Fever. They all had 20 plus points.
I think,
Wow.
yeah, I think it was 4 of them. They were just
Mm-hmm.
smoking, man. I mean, they like the Fever, man. They outscored the Fever 27-2 in the fourth
Mm,
quarter.
mm,
Yep.
mm.
And Caitlin Clark, I'm surprised that coach don't get fired soon. Like we talked about on the last podcast. I'm surprised that she still has her job because she made some good timeouts and try to slow it down, try to change the pace. But hey,
I don't know
I'm
how
just
much longer she's gonna be around, to be honest
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard playing against the Aces. I mean, it's like when you see a train coming, you don't just go jump on the tracks.
That's right.
You
Especially with
know,
AW leading the way.
especially with her, you get out the way. And having Chelsea Gray back, I'd imagine that we'll see quite a bit of that, and see what happens. But we will see. We will see what ends up happening with who gets Rookie of the Year. That is what I'm looking forward to. I think both of them playing so hard right now. Let's see how they're able to maintain. And again, one thing that we have to consider is fatigue. They have been playing since last October.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
So it'll
Hey,
be. Go ahead, Ron.
let me add this about Peyton Clark. And you hit a good point earlier. You talked about her shooting. It's been said that she only knows how to shoot from 27 feet out. She needs to find a mid range game. She really doesn't like to pull ups. We've seen her shoot the ball off the backboard in college. I don't know why she doesn't go back to that. But her mid range game. That's all I wanted to add about Caitlin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that is good to know. Coach Mack, I wanted to circle back on the G League babies as we ended up snowballing into other topics. I wanted to get an update on the G League babies, especially with Summer League on the horizon. What can we expect to see?
So first off, I want to give a shout out to the three that got drafted. And speaking of the three that got drafted from G League Ignite, which obviously that team no longer exists, which doesn't make sense to me because they've had more players to be drafted into the NBA. So why get rid of it? Anywho, so you had Ron Holland, he's going to Detroit Pistons.
Mhm.
Mateus Bazelis, he's going to the Bulls, and then you got Tyler Smith, who's going to the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's going to be a great addition to each of those teams to see them perform at G League. Then also coming back to the G League, we have Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif
Mm.
O'Neal.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Looking forward to watching him play this year and seeing how that turns out. And if I'm not mistaken, Ron, I think Shaq's supposed to have some kind of league that he's doing
Hmm.
um, that I
Yes.
think his son is going to be playing on as well, which is going to be interesting to see. I have to can't remember where I saw that information, but whenever I
No,
get it, I'll send it over
he,
to
he's
you
got
guys.
yeah, he's got this league. He's trying to be like Ice Cube.
Mm.
Yes, yes, that he is. That is. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I love Big Three also. I've been to their games. It's really exciting to watch, especially when you have your OGs out there still
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
giving
Mm-hmm.
buckets and looking like they playing prison ball all at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time.
That's what I call it. That's exactly what I call it. How did you know that? That's what I call it. I call it prison ball. It looks like they just
Looking
got out
like
of the
that.
joint.
Yes, I'm talking about showing no mercy at all.
None. None.
Okay, so yeah, shout out to Big Three too. Hey, it's still ball is ball.
Oh, coach, awesome guys that you know that were OGs and they come to the park and you go like, man, I ain't seen that dude play in like 10
Yes,
years.
that is it. That's what the Big Three is like, and they
It
out there
is. And it's
hammering
bully
everything.
ball. Oh, it's
Bully.
bully ball.
Oh,
Yes, completely.
it's a man's game.
Yeah,
A man's game.
it is, okay? All of that flopping, crying, falling all on the floor, that's not going to get you nothing in the big
No,
three.
nope, nope, nope. But one last
Wow.
thing I definitely want to point out is a G League alumni, which is Isaiah Hartenstein, who
Mm.
played with the New
Mhm.
York Knicks. So let's talk about his whole contract that he got once he was traded to OKC.
Yep.
So this year he's getting what 30.5 million, and they
Yep.
compared it to Jalen Bronson. He has been 24.9 million. So how they work?
I think it's the years. He's been playing for a little while, but he's been back and forward.
Yeah,
So
but
they add some of the years in with your experience.
yep,
Mm.
yeah. So he was in G League for about 3 years, which
Mm.
is, I mean, that's pretty solid years playing in the G League up until he got with the Knicks. And so, I mean, hey, from the bottom, now we here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd imagine we continue to hear more players like that as the NBA has done a great job utilizing their G League players actually being valuable players that can come up in the middle of the season. Hey, if a player is not getting it done, send them on their way. You know, you have other players that are hungry that have been working hard and that are ready to go. All they need is an opportunity.
That's
And
it.
so and
Like
then
you
and
and
that's
Coach
it.
Mack.
What's that, Ron?
I said like you and Coach Mack.
Yeah. Hey,
Ron,
I'll take G League. I'll take
hey,
it.
That's it. Okay.
What
All
else
I
do
That's
you
need
what
is a
want?
happens in
little,
the
I need
NBA.
a sliver of opportunity. Anything that's going to get me that step closer to a potential NIL deal
That's
is
it. That's
that
all I
is
want.
that's all I want, Coach Meg. Am I asking for too much?
No, of course not. We was owed this. Why we can't get what we were owed? That's all
That
I'm saying.
that's all I want to know. Especially the way that the money is shaking out the trees. So, but no, I think it's going to be interesting. Like you said, we have Summer League is approaching. We have the WNBA going. We'll have the All Star coming up, and so we'll just continue to see how things play out. And as more trades continue to happen in the NBA, discussing those things and looking to see who's going to be a candidate to compete. What I'm interested to see is what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler. And
Mm.
I see there hasn't been much talk about Jimmy Butler, but I've definitely been keeping a side eye to see what's going on with that. I don't know how many years he had on his contract with Miami, but we'll see. We'll see because hey, if Jimmy Butler decides he wants to come to LA, we'll take him.
Well, look, I thought Jimmy Butler was going to be in the Bad Boys movie, but my boy said, "Hell no."
No Bad Boys
Martin
movie.
Lawrence said, "Hell no, he can't come play with the. He can't be with the Bad Boys. He ain't ready for
Listen,
it."
listen, he could
Huh?
come he can come to the beach and be in LA.
I don't think he's going to go there. Man.
I know. It's just wishful thinking, but it'd be nice to have somebody of a comparable come. We need something.
Yes, y'all
Anything.
do. Y'all do. Y'all do. I think after 2 years, y'all get everything y'all want.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the coaching staff with the Lakers and who JJ is bringing on as the assistant?
That's kind of a musical cheer thing going on out there. I know Dwayne Casey turned them down,
Mm.
and some other guys are like, I don't know if I want to go over there. Uh, who are you hearing, Coach?
So, I gotta go. I can't remember who the latest was that I saw. They showed sometime today, but I don't know. I think the buildup of the staff is I'm just I guess it's the whole idea of JJ not really having the coaching experience.
Right.
But then you have all these other coaches who have been in the league, been assistants for like years, but yet they are the ones who will pretty much be coaching. So
Mhm.
it's like, what role would J? How is that going to work? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
they really have the experience,
And who wants
and
to
so
be an assistant to that?
right. So, how is this conversation going to work? You have a disagreement with the way the head coach see things. And as an assistant, this is not going to work.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah,
right about that. I know Sam
that's
Cassell said he wasn't going there. I know Casey turned him down, and I can't think of the other person that turned him down today. Uh, I'm like you, Coach. It slips my mind. I did read about a coach that he was looking at. There was two of them he was looking at, but he didn't get
yes.
them. He didn't get them, and I, I just, I just can't
They
remember.
so they hired Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks as assistant coaches.
Mm.
So that's who they end up hiring.
Oh, okay, they did. Okay,
Yes.
Now, Nate McMillan is very interesting, but Nate McMillan will be doing a large part of that coaching.
yeah, he's
Nate
going
Mc,
to.
Exactly.
he was the head coach for the Blazers, correct? Is that
Yes,
Yes,
I think so.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep, he
In
was.
Atlanta,
and okay, he was at Atlanta as well too. Okay. Now this is the thing, if I'm coach on the sideline and you're trying to tell me something and I know it's not going to work, how hard would it be to say you don't even know what you're doing?
How
You
can
know,
you resist
no,
that?
I can hear you. I
how do
can hear
you
you. I can hear you saying that too.
you don't even know what you're doing. Like show me your resume that's besides the Boys and Girls Club. Pull pull your
I can
resume
hear
out.
you, boy. I can hear you
You know,
telling them
so
all.
it's a tough job to take, Ron, because if you ever in that position when you're having a disagreement and as the head coach makes the final say so, how do you stop yourself from going down that route? How? That's a tough spot. You got to be ready to gnaw at the inside of your cheeks to bite your tongue so hard.
That's right. That's right.
Walk away real fast because you're
You,
Yep.
gonna need it.
You got to do that. You got to do that. Then you got to go like, well, I'm only going to be here 1 year. Let me get out of here. I ain't signed no long time deal. I'm only going to be here 1 year. Let me move on.
That's all they
I see
paid me
what's
for.
going on over here. And plus, I know you ain't coaching the team. I know LeBron's coaching the team. You just listening to what he's saying. Okay, so I'm out.
definitely requires somebody with thick skin, but we shall see. We shall see in the coming weeks who we can get to go over there and how things will continue to shake up in the league. But we have hit the time for Talking Hoops, and what a great show. Thank you all to everybody who tuned in here on Talking Hoops, where you can catch us live on Broad Street South Sports Radio 102.9 The Game. You can catch us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, straight from your phone. There's multiple ways that you can tune in and watch your favorite crew on Talking Hoops. And we will be back. Join next week. We might have a special guest coming on. We shall see. Coach Mac, we will discuss that. And everybody will be in for a nice surprise. If so, if not, it'll be your favorite crew. And we will be back. Thank you all again. Happy
Happy Fourth,
holidays.
Happy 4th of July.
Yes. And have a great weekend. And we will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.